Hey everyone, welcome back to another Stock Market Open live stream. Today is going to be the first of those very big days that we were waiting for. It is the beginning of our catalyst shift. Will this be the moment that we start seeing very bad pain from tech earnings? We'll find out. Obviously, this morning we have SoFi flat, PayPal up like 9%, Procter Gamble, JetBlue. We'll take a look at some of these. But we get AMD, Microsoft, Starbucks, Pinterest, Lemonade, First Solar, and Caesars this afternoon. We're definitely going to be live this afternoon for that. Tomorrow morning, we'll get ADP, the ECI, big employment cost index, Fed Day, Caesars, Boeing, Wingstop, MasterCard, Kraft, Meta, ARM, and then in the afternoon, Meta, ARM, Qualcomm, Carvana, Lam Research, Etsy, Western Digital, Cheesecake. So in other words, the next about 36 hours will be really critical. It's really going to be a deciding moment for dump all hedges and go long, or thank God for the hedges. And we'll find out. That's all this week is we will see. So let's take a look at what's going on with PayPal in just a moment here. But it is up 9% in the pre-market, so we'll take a look. And I'm kind of excited. I think this week is just going to be absolutely nuts. Yesterday was a little boring, mostly because it was sort of like, this week's going to be nuts. And it had none of the nuts in it. It just sort of had all of the hype, but none of the fun. But the fun begins today. So I am very excited about that. I am also excited to see what we actually end up getting from good old Jerome Powie Wowie today at, what's it called? Tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? It's tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, today's already Tuesday. Oh, it's weird. Did you know it's almost August? It's also extremely weird to me. I don't know why. I thought it was weird. We were in the second half, and now we're already almost in the second month of the third quarter. Anyway, all right. Let's get into good old PayPal. Let's see what happened here. Total payment volume misses on Q2. They see their free cash flow for the year being $6 billion versus $5 billion they expected. Second quarter operating income, $1.46 billion versus $1.31 billion. So their operating income beat, leading their EPS to beat, and their revenue beat. So they made more money, and they kept more money, even though their total payment volume was a little bit lower. It doesn't look like I have any kind of Q3 forecast here. This is just basically just a beat on Q2 here. Let me see. PayPal. Let's see if their statement had anything to say. Earnings release. There we go. Okay, let's see if they had anything here in terms of forecast. Conference call. The conference call is just getting started. I haven't seen any notes yet. Disclosure channels. I love that they use their YouTube channel as a disclosure channel. I think that's really cool. Smart. No, there's no forecast in here. So they might give a Q3 forecast on the call. So there is a risk that if they give a bad forecast on Q3, that the stock will actually come back down. So we'll see. No forward guidance in the doc. So we'll have to find out. All right, let's take a look at SoFi. And let me see here. What? Okay, one sec. Let me see. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get PayPal's live transcript up. Because sometimes I can pull that off. And then I don't have to sit there and listen to it. And I can just watch the transcript appear. PayPal. Yep, this one. Oh, wait. Is there earnings call tomorrow? No. PayPal. Well, that's quite odd. Okay. Never mind. I guess I won't be getting a transcript on that one. That's fine. We'll keep an eye on it. Okay. Let me go back. See what we got for PayPal. Okie dokie dokie dokie. So, all right, 8.3% on PayPal. SoFi's up about 3. Oh, it's picked up a little bit in the last little bit here. SoFi, net revenue beat, 597 versus 567. That's pretty good. EBITDA, 139 versus the estimate of 121. It's pretty good as well. How big is this company now? They are $7.7 billion market cap. And they just brought in at an annualized rate 139 times 4, 556. 7750 divided by 556. Trading for like 14 times earnings. Okay. Q3 sees Q3 adjusted EBITDA 160.5 million. Or sorry, 162.5. So that's better than expected. That's a slight raise of guidance. And then their fiscal year EBITDA 610 million versus the 595 expected. It's a raise. It's pretty good. So, I mean, I'd say SoFi numbers look pretty good here. So good job, SoFi. And then we have Procter and Gamble. Let me try them next. Procter and Gamble. Procter and Gamble comes in with revenue up 2%. Expectation was 3.4. So a little bit of a miss. Margin did beat a little bit. Beauty beat a little bit. Net sales missed for the entire year. They expect EPS growth of about 6%. Revenue of about 4%. It's roughly in line. I mean, most of this is actually in line. This doesn't seem that bad. I'd say this is a pretty benign report. It's down 5% on it, though. I wonder if it's just because the organic revenue missed up 2% versus the estimate of 3.3 because the internals weren't that bad. No, that one wasn't that bad. Okay, let me see what else was there this morning. So this morning we had JetBlue. That was the only other one. Oh, and then we get JOLTS today. Okay. JetBlue. Let's see here. Okay. JetBlue adjusted EPS 2 cents. Estimated loss per share was 11 cents, and they actually made money. Well, that's pretty good. Operating revenue 2.43 versus 2.4 expected, so that beat. They think revenue in Q3 will be down midpoint 3.5%. Fiscal year revenue down midpoint 5%. Q3 capex will be bigger than expected by about 18%. $365 million. And they're deferring some aircraft capex. Why does that sound scary? Shifting 44 Airbus deliveries to 2030. Oh, okay. They're just buying fewer planes. Fine. And they're going up on this. Because those numbers seem bad. I don't love those numbers at all. And yet they're up. Now, JetBlue is a $2 billion market cap company. Oh, wow. All right. Very well. So let's take a look at some of the movers today. You know, I noticed yesterday, Enphase dumped back to 113. You can see it basically just followed the lines again, right back down to 113. I'm also noticing that Bitcoin is getting a little nervous. You can see the hour chart here. We peaked out yesterday morning, and boy, I'm sorry. Yesterday, during the course member live, during the public live stream, I believe we drew this during the public live stream. And I'm like, I think it's going to go down and touch 69. And it just went straight through it. That was kind of crazy. Oh, boy. Okay. So, little Bit of nervousness for the week there being seen in BTC. Let's take a look at, well, look at this, Tesla. It's up another 71 basis points in pre-market here. Had a great day yesterday. Nvidia, ooh, Nvidia goes red again, 0.26. And let's see here. ARM's red again. That's really AI that's wanting to trend off today, huh? You've got IWM wanting to go green. It was down 1.1 yesterday, so your small caps were down yesterday. And the Qs ended up only up 20 basis points yesterday. So outside of Tesla, you had a really kind of benign move yesterday. You rode 117 on Apple, as you have been for the last 1, 2, 3 days. Let's see if we push out of that today. Let's see what other moves we have here. PayPal's trying to move up. Affirm's trying to move up. EXPI's trying to move up. SoFi, JetBlue trying to move up. Embraer. And CrowdStrike down 3-4. Procter Gamble down 5. Leverage Bitcoin's down a bit. Las Vegas Sands down a little bit. Truth Social down a little bit. Seems pretty benign right now. All right. Let's take a brief listen here, see if they have anything interesting for us.
Vice President Harris, it's actually business friendly, or do you want to just talk about the overall environment we're in right now?
I do think she is going to be business friendly.
You do?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
that would be a big shift.
Yes.
Yeah. Why do you think that? She has to.
She has to. Look, she's running to be president of all the people, and obviously our economy is driven by the private sector, by consumer.
By the way, I'm hearing this more and more, that people are trying to set up Kamala Harris as like Silicon Valley friendly, Facebook, Apple, Google friendly, okay with mergers, maybe not into con over at the FTC. And so you hear this more and more and more. A lot of people setting her up as being business friendly.
The middle class from the inside out, and it's been anti-business rhetoric. I get tired of it, Ralph, and I wonder, how do you just understand what it is? It's populist rhetoric that everyone engages in?
Well, I was at a meeting last week of about 20 people in the markets at lunch, and someone said to me that, Trump really wasn't that bad if he was a silent movie.
No, I was talking about. I actually didn't bring up Trump.
I understand.
Okay.
So I think both of these candidates are, if you look at how the markets have done, if you look how the economy has done, he's got a pretty damn good record.
But do you think she's going to be actively out there? We've been talking about regulation. We've been talking about the FTC, the Department of Justice, when it comes to antitrust. We talked about how apparently she's now trying to court the crypto community after Trump shows up at a crypto Bitcoin conference. I mean, do you think there's actually a real move afoot to move even more to the center?
I personally believe that the regulatory policies of the Biden administration were a little bit too aggressive and somewhat detached from the law.
Okay.
Which
you think
is
that she agrees with you?
I don't know the answer to that. I haven't asked her.
Ralph, what about taxing?
All right, well, this is pretty boring. A lot of speculation here. So anyway, let's take a peek at, let's see here. Oh yeah, look at sort of the zoomed out view here on ARM. It looks like you might settle over here at the 134. Bitcoin, we're a little bit in no man's land right now. Qs, we're right there on that 160-ish line. So this is going to be the make or break week right here. Because if you have really bad earnings, you're down to 400, and it's going to be really nasty. Tesla looks like we have, really our support, we've bounced off of it now, which is good yesterday. Is somewhere around 124, 123 right now. That's our multi-year trend line. Really, really powerful. So same as the 221 line there. So let's see if it bounces again today here. If it does, and we have good earnings, we should be right back in the 250 to the 260 range. That range would be very reasonable on good earnings this week. So, and then Nvidia looks like it might go for a low here. It's already bounced off basically the 108 line here. Will it go for it again? We'll see. We shall see. take a look here on semi. They held on to the held on to 11%. Dell has come down a bunch. Let's see. Dell 111. Well, I mean, in fairness, this run up was just ridiculous. So I honestly like bitched and complained about Dell the entire way up, because I'm like, this company doubled 2% of its revenue from AI. So it went from 2% of revenue AI to 4% of revenue from AI. And the stock more than doubled. And I'm like, this is the definition of insanity. Absolutely the definition of insanity. Yeah. Alex here says, I don't know how to say that. A-E. Steit? Would it be Eit? I don't know. Steit. It sounds like Eit. Anyway, wants to know, how about that Morgan Stanley upgrade for Tesla? You know, that's what the excuse me. That's what what Tesla stock is moving up on right now. I actually think it's a big mistake. The Morgan Stanley upgrade is just Adam Jonas, who's literally been a Tesla bull for as long as Tom Lee has been bullish on the market, saying, I still like Tesla. And so everybody's talking about it as an Adam Jonas upgrade. And I'm like, bro, it's such bullcrap. He said the same thing for years. So, which it's fine. But there's a risk that if the stock is moving off of just the Morgan Stanley talk, it's not sustainable. So, you know, once you start getting into, well, I mean, this week will be a determinant. You know, if we have a heavy weight this week from earnings, that Adam Jonas upgrade isn't going to be useful, especially as we start pricing in the CapEx, the expenditures, the deliveries of Q3, Q4. But we'll see. All right. All right, so what else do we have here? Qs are up 30 basis points. We've got, let's see here. Tesla's up almost 1%. And David says, Kevin's such a bear. You know, I have more of a net long exposure personally to Tesla than anything else. Well, no, I'm sorry. I think Apple's higher now. Apple and Amazon might be higher. But the point is, like, yeah, I hedge my portfolio. I'm not a dumb nut. And that's what I do. So, but I have more long exposure to Tesla than I have short exposure to Tesla. It's only for this week that I'm really nervous about the entire market. So this idea of people are like, oh, ha, 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 like Tesla goes up, it hurts Kevin Short. Like, you don't understand. If Tesla goes up, I make more money. Like, you don't get it. Your logic is so devoid of reason that, like, people come into the chat and they're like, ha, 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 you have a short. It's going up. You're losing money. I'm like, it's a hedge, you dumbass. I have more long exposure. I am making more money. It's hilarious. But anyway, I mean, that's just kind of pretty typical, though, in terms of people in the chat. It's like, you know, little kids got to wake up in the morning and gotta have a little attitude. It's like, come for information and learn and do what's best for your own portfolio. That's what I always say. And if you don't like the information, then leave. Then don't watch. I personally don't care. I try my best every day. You know, every day we have about, I think it's somewhere around 2,500 people that watch the course member live stream. Sometimes it's up to 3,000. That's a lot of people coming just for the private course member live streams every day. And, you know, I feel a lot of responsibility for that. I feel a lot of responsibility in trying my best to come with insightful analysis, reasonable warnings, reasonable excitement, reasonable hedges, reasonable longs, and that's my goal. So, and I do that here to some extent as well. So, again, we'll just keep trying my best. But yeah, I mean, there's always going to be some moron, but that's okay. So, what else do we have here? So, let's see here. Ken Griffin is spending millions to put his stamp on Trump's GOP. Kenny G, that guy's got so much money. I also wonder where we're going to go. Yeah, we covered PayPal earnings. I also wonder why BTC is moving bearish right now in the face of where everything else is. And I'm just talking about since it was yesterday morning. So since in the last 24 hours, we've been rotating down on BTC. And I don't know if this is just BTC being sort of nervous about what's to come this week. Sometimes it's a leading indicator. Sometimes it's not. Well, so we'll see. Okay, let's get into... I want to get some institutional commentary. You know, an easier way I've found to do this is just on the computer. So give me 1 second here. We're going to pull this up. Okay. So let's see what we've got today, this morning. Yesterday, I went through everything the institutions had to say. And honestly, I didn't even make a video yesterday because it was so boring. It was all the same. Everybody has the same thing to say. What are earnings going to be like this week? And what's the Fed going to do? I'm like, bro, I already know the catalyst. I'm not going to waste people's time with that. All right. Let's see here. Bananas. Biden's floating radical changes to the Supreme Court. We already made a video on that. Ain't gonna go anywhere. Oh, Mike Wilson. Ooh. Now this could always be interesting. Resident bear who's turned bullish. Let's see how bullish he still is. All right. Let me see here. Now what I'm going to try to quickly do is before this crashes, I'm going to try saving it this time. I've had a lot of problems with Adobe lately. See, I like converted everything to start using the Adobe Acrobat PDF feature on Windows, and then all of a sudden after an update, everything just crashes. And everybody, we went through the specs. Everybody's convinced it's not the computer either. But anyway. And other people were complaining about it too. So, okay, Mike Wilson, with softer inflation data setting up for broadly anticipated rate cut in September. Yep, that's what I'm saying. It is broadly anticipated. It usually crashes if I go to text. Okay, this is good so far. Hence, if we don't get a T up, would that be TEE up? I think it is. Could be bearish, right? Like when expectations get rugged, basically. All right. Equity markets focus has shifted to growth ahead of key earnings results and the jobs report this week. We prefer industrials within cyclicals and some defensive exposure. All right. Earnings revisions breadth for the overall market has started to trend lower as we head into a weaker seasonal period for this gauge. This is being driven by several cyclical areas, auto, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay. We recommend being more targeted within cyclicals. We favor industrials with valuations that look more compelling. Okay. In other words, the bar is higher for beats. That's also my concern. Also my concern. In fairness, Microsoft basically goes first, and they'll probably do really well. Microsoft usually kills it, though. So it could set up the week well. Since they're... Aren't they today? Or are they tomorrow afternoon? Let me check really quickly when they are. Microsoft usually does really well. So, like, if Microsoft missed, that would be very bad. But I don't think they will. Yeah, they are today. Tuesday afternoon. Okay. How much election dynamics have driven pricing action? Okay. Let's see here. Strong earnings revision have helped drive financial outperformance, better industrial macro data. While they're perceived to be beneficiaries of a Trump win, financials, industrials both outperformed last week, even as election odds came down for Trump, based on real clear politics data. That's fine. Okay, bottom line, we remain focused on fundamentals, whatever. So give us, like, some names here. Do you? I wonder if they do. I'm sure they do. He usually does, somewhere in here. So basically, he likes good value industrials. Okay, got it. So, let me see here. Here we go. Fresh money buy list. Coca-Cola. He's into McDonald's. Oh my gosh, that's right. I remember this now. Walmart. Verizon. Gross. I hate them. Colgate, Palmolive, Coca-Cola. I feel like these are all companies that have no pricing power. All companies with tiny PP. Like, literally. Walmart is limited by Amazon, Target. Verizon has insane competition, obviously. Same for Colgate, Coke, and McDonald's have already said PP small, ability to raise prices is tiny. Consumer reluctant. So, I don't know, I'm kind of surprised by that. Fresh money buy list. Okay, I also wouldn't really call those industrials. I'd call those staples, but whatever. That's his fresh money buy list, I guess. Along with well-priced industrials that he doesn't talk about. Okay, fine then.
On Snap, you just send whatever.
I think he's absolutely right. And it has less of a negative impact on teenagers as a result, I think, probably.
You know, the 1924 thing has been done. Woody Allen, Midnight in Paris.
Yes.
Well, goes back. Hemingway is there. F. Scott Fitzgerald. Gertrude Stein is there.
On your phone.
I know.
What is this yapping? None of this even makes sense. What are they talking about?
Where we were eating.
Last night.
On
our date.
On our mandate.
We'll always have Paris.
We'll always have Paris.
Okay. All right. We're going to get off the mandate talk. Haha. Haha. If you say man-date fast, it sounds like a mandate. Like you must wear a mask.
Mr. Balyasny, in an interview that was really fascinating, I recommend that everybody watch. He talked about his background coming here from the former Soviet Union, from Ukraine, during the time 1990s when he could, and the difference operating there versus operating here. What did he tell you about the importance of the political structure to what he could do?
Well, he escaped with his family at the age of 7 from Kiev, came to Chicago, couldn't speak English, nor could his parents. Ultimately, he became a financially successful person.
It's so boring today.
So that takes up a tremendous amount of the spending in this country, which paints this kind of different picture. And then also we do have an addiction to spending problem in this country. Credit card debt at an all-time high, credit card delinquencies nearing all-time highs, at the same time savings rate near all-time lows.
Yeah, all right. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Mornings with Maria live on Fox Business.
Nope. I don't know why they always got to start playing music. Anyway, all right. That was also very boring. We literally checked all 3 business channels, and each of them critically boring, incredibly miserable and boring. Morgan Stanley, Mike Wilson, the Bear piece, also boring. Charts that caught my eye. All right. Let's see what the charts are that caught your eye, other person at Morgan Stanley. Where are fund flows going? Oh, here we go. Here we go. They're going to start talking about people's flows. Okay. Cross-asset team sees little evidence of a rotation from bonds to stocks. History does not support a rotation into equities from money markets as the Fed starts cutting. Oh, wow. I haven't heard that before. Everyone assumes this will happen. That's interesting. Okay. So this is going to be interesting. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, perfect. So then we have, they also observe that flows by the sector seem to suggest markets mostly agree with the barbell of high quality cyclicals. Okay, I mean, this high quality cyclicals are going to be like an Nvidia, but I mean, I think that one's just going to cyclically trade down. But that's okay. That's just my opinion. Let's see. Signature. Yeah, I just want to like... Oh, I could do an arrow. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I actually like that. Can I make it a big arrow? I want to... Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice, Adobe. Well, maybe a little too big. Gotta be the right size. Oh, yeah. Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. All right. Money market inflows slow when the Fed starts cutting, but outflows take longer to materialize. Fed cuts start. These are inflows. Oh, outflows. That's where you had your last outflow, so he's still too big. Okay, I see what they're saying. So they're basically trying to say it could take years to really get outflows. That is interesting. Okay. Large cap net flows have outpaced small caps. Yeah, well, we already know that. Let's see here. Science and tech lead U.S. equity sectors and flows. Duh. It's all about consumption. Current market narrative around the path of consumer spending. Blah, blah, blah. Our team expects U.S. consumer spending to slow from last year's unsustainably hot pace, but then stabilize and not slump. The picture in Europe is somewhat the opposite. They believe Europe is normalizing after an exceptionally weak period of growth. Okay. Got it. Net result of tariffs, higher inflation. Yeah, I don't believe in that anyway. I don't really care about that right now anyway. That's going to depend so much on the election. Mergers, acquisitions, boring. UK, boring. Shift in consumer sentiment on carbon neutrality. I don't care right now. Own Adidas. And on running. Let's see here. They like both of these. You know, I hear a lot of people talking about On, and a lot of people are like, oh yeah, On actually like innovates, whereas Nike doesn't. Oh, not On Semi, it's On Running. They're like, what are they, like a Swedish company? I don't even know what their ticker is, honestly. I gotta look it up. Let's see here. On Running ticker symbol. O-N-O-N. Got it. So here's your week chart. Oh, are they Swiss? Switzerland? Okay, not Swede. Fine. I don't know. It's one of them. I don't know if it's... I don't know what they're from. I mean, I can find out. I don't know anything about this company, really. Lauren was talking about them. She's like, oh, yeah, I like their shoes. I go, really? She's like, yeah, look, I'm wearing them right now. I'm like, oh. So I asked her, I'm like, hey, well, what about Nike? She's like, oh, they suck. I'm like, why? I'm like, why would I buy their overpriced shoes when I can have a shoe of the same price that's actually really good. Like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I know what Lauren's shorting. Okay, so they are listed on the NYSE. That's cool. Let's see here. Swiss. Ah, they are Switzerland. That's cute. Swiss brand. Huh, very cool. All right. So, you know, one thing here, we can look at their financials actually. Let me get their last, let me see when their last financial report was. Oh, okay, it was their annual report. Let's save them. Save. And then we'll do this in just a moment. So this one is on running annual report 2023. Okay. Let's see here. Let me get to their statements. Just take a sec. There we go. We could use this for now just to get started. Well, you can definitely see the growth here. So you've got net sales, and this is in millions of Swiss francs, that are certainly up substantially from where they were last year. 1792 divided by 1.22 puts us up about 46%. Oh, I want to go back to that arrow. Oh, because now I'm in the web browser version? That's not fun. Oh, okay. Let's get out of the web browser then. Let's open up, 1 second. On running annual report. Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. Now I can get my arrow back. Anyway, so revenue up 46% of the company year over year. So they're definitely growing pretty well, especially in this environment, this economy, this consumer, right? And Nike's getting whacked. So clearly you're seeing some of that shoe spending go over to alternative entities outside of the Nike space. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Nike, it's the forever brand. You must invest in Nike. It's the best. I'm like, well, you know, there are old companies that can get replaced. And I think that's exactly why you just had the CEO of Nike start talking up how important it is that they start innovating again. Okay, dude, why is it so hard to find their financial statement? Oh, I got it. Oh, that took forever. All right, here we go. It's because they number their pages weird. F4. What, Alt F4? So, look at those margins they have, though, on the shoes. Like, you can pull that off when you innovate. Yeah, baby. Look at those margins. 1067 divided by 1792? Bro, 59% gross profit. That's hot. That's really nice. And that's up from 684.9 divided by 1221. 56%. Wow. Up from last year, 3%. 3 percentage points. We like to put PP for that. See, if you say it's up 3 percentage points, it's like 56 to 57, 58, 59. But if you say it's up 3%, technically 56 up 3% is only 57.5. Yeah. All right. What is this? A lot of money spent on the SGs and As. It's fine. Got net income. So we've got net income here of $79.6 million. 79.6 of net. How big is this company now? On They are $12.7 billion company. But that's Swiss francs and that's dollars. So let me convert this all to the same thing. ONON. Financial analysis. So this is a company that has 82 cents of freedom units. Okay, so 39.83 divided by 0.82 freedom units. 48.5 times earnings. Okay. 48.5 times earnings is the PE ratio now. Growth rate going forward is expected to be 12, 22, 12, 18 divided by 4, 16%, 44 divided by 16. Trading for about a 2.75 peg. Little rich right now. Andrew Dixon, I'm an ultra marathoner. Man, JD Vance, bro, you keep adding to your resume. You're starting to piss me off, dude. Freaking, what was it? Yale Law School, book author, Netflix series. This guy, now he's an ultra marathoner too. Anyway. So, Kevin, what do you think about Texas Stock Exchange? It's a good thing. I wanted to make my own stock exchange. And it's a good thing. In fact, if you ever look up, does anybody know what the SEC Form 1 is? The biggest tech companies reporting this week are all big Harris donors. Just saying, got to be realistic. They were going to have a bad report before the election. You have another report before. So you have, what's it called? October earnings before the election. Yeah. So Nike has gotten away from performance and comfort as more of a lifestyle brand. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Starlink IPO on Texas Stock Exchange is going to be huge. There you go. Oh, anyway, so what I was going to say is the first form that the SEC ever created was the Form 1. And the Form 1 is the application to create a stock exchange. It just makes me think of RuneScape. It's like I want to have my own GE. Anyway, it's a joke. It's a joke, people. It's a joke. That would be crazy. All right. Shed some light on Shopify and SoFi. We just did show SoFi this morning. Yeah. SoFi was good. It's only up 2-3 in Shop. How have they been holding up? Well, let's listen in here for a moment.
They always are. They talked about how raw costs are still not going down.
Net sales were flat, organic sales
and they
2%.
talk about that some products got too expensive.
Yep.
And they have to cut back. And what happens? Down 10. I mean, there was a producer in our office this morning. The stock was down 6. I said the stock would be down 10. I'm not a visionary. I just know the way people trade Procter. So Procter lowers the boom. John Mueller is incredibly cautious,
right?
The CEO, and people sell it down 10 because the next guy, because they're afraid it'll go down 12. Buy Procter. Buy Procter down 11. The people who are selling it now.
Yeah. Okay. So, quick reminder: today is going to be. It's like trading today is going to be critical because everything that gets traded today is simply going to be trading, in my opinion, on bets for Microsoft earnings and the rest of the week. AMD earnings come out today. Starbucks, Pinterest, Lemonade, First Solar, Caesars. Really, Microsoft and AMD. I will cover these suckers live, baby. Like, I'm not going to do market closing live for the boring ones anymore. That's why I haven't been. Sorry. I got a lot of other things to do. But and that's just ultra boring. But today is gonna be fun. 410 Microsoft, 415 AMD. That's gonna be entertaining. So very, very cool. Does Kevin have acid reflux or something? No, I think I have a cold. It just hit me. Like, yeah. So now I'm gonna just like keep myself locked up in this box, stay away from 5 babies and 2 boys who are, well, one of them's also often a baby. Anyway, yeah, kind of sucks. Oh well, what are you gonna do? So I did come up with emojis for all my children. So, well, we think these emojis appropriately reflect all of our children, and we quite frankly think that all parents should come up with emojis for their children. So I came up with these emojis, as you can see here. Jay's got the little droopy look. Summer's always kind of got her hands up by your face. Claire's always got the concerned look. Violet just stares at you. Ella's always got the open mouth, wide-eyed look. Jack just wants to like figure stuff out, so we gave him the glasses. And then Max is just literally bouncing off of walls. So yeah, our emoji family. Yeah, anyway. So can I make it big? Yeah, I was trying to figure out how I could make that bigger. Let me see here. Title? Oh yeah. I did it. Hey, there you go. I did it for you. There you go. What's my emoji? I don't know, dead. Okay. Oh yeah, crucial day for trading. Doesn't seem like you finished that talk. Get another vaccine. I've never had COVID as far as I'm aware. Like, I don't know. Pretty excited about that. So okay, yeah, anyway, so back to this day of trading thing. You don't have any real catalysts during the day. I mean, you do have the JOLTS report, but the Fed's already put cold water on this idea that they're so worried about the, JOLTS or the average hourly earnings. Let me see here. Obviously, if you have a huge miss on JOLTS, it's going to be an issue or a big beat. But JOLTS is expected to come in at 8 mil. Honestly, anything plus or minus like 100 to 200,000, the market's just not going to move. That comes out at 7 a.m. So otherwise, you don't really. I mean, you have 7 a.m. consumer confidence. Who cares? These aren't really catalysts to trade off of. So unfortunately, today you don't really have catalysts going into the close. You just have people's expectations of what's Microsoft and AMD going to do. And the downside is if Microsoft and AMD do really well, then hedges get destroyed Wednesday. But that's the day you want the hedges for. Because on Wednesday, you have Powie Wowie. And not so, and then you have Meta, ARM, Qualcomm, Lam Research, and those will be pretty important too. So, but we'll see. If Microsoft does well and AMD does well, the presumption is the other ones would do well as well. And I think earnings are going to be more of a catalyst this week than the Fed. I don't really think the Fed could really screw this up. So, we'll see. All right. What else here? Discrepancy between your volume voice and CNBC. Is mine too quiet? That might be. Hold on. I'll pump it up a little bit. No, see, that's too much. There we go. Is that maybe that's better? I don't know. Let's try that. Let's compare.
Growth of the league globally, it's fantastic.
Paramount. 5 years from now, are we going to look at this deal
Yeah?
and say Larry Ellison was a...
See, now I'm louder. Okay, I'll pay attention to it more. Thanks. So I'll just watch it more. All right. So, yeah, I mean, there's really nothing happening in the pre-market right now. It's a little boring. Little boring. But that's okay. We got 15 minutes to go, and then the market will open. You got Procter Gamble selling down. PayPal's giving up some of its run. Enphase is trying to bounce off the 113. Tesla is trying to move up here. It's actually pretty good. You've got Bitcoin had continued its sell-off, but it seems stable right now. It doesn't seem like it's going anywhere right now. Yeah, look at that. Actually popped a few $100 here before we start. Actually, no, a little bit right after we started. IWM's moving up. Nvidia was red, now positive. Pretty good. Ubiquity, Netflix, McDonald's. Let's see here. Chipotle. No, all pretty boring. Let's look at yields. Well, let's see what happens here. And I'll keep this here on. Hold on. I'll watch Enphase a little bit in the queues. So. Okay, 10-year treasury yields at 4.15. 2-year is at 4.38. So that's 23-ish basis points of inversion. Yeah, it's exactly 23 basis points of inversion. So we're back to more inverted. How about Atlanta Fed? How are we doing with them? Let's go to Atlanta Fed. They are projecting GDP at 2.8% as of July 26th. And let's go New York Fed multivariate core. Pretty sure they just came out with their latest numbers. They came out with them yesterday. They did, and it's more down. Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on one sec here. So, here we go. Multivariate, yeah, everything just trending down. Goods went negative again. Oh, how interesting. There's no inflation left. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that plummet inflation. They could totally drop rates here. I mean, we're back to 2020 levels of inflation. It's gone. There's your transitory hump. Probability band. The probability band doesn't even show a chance of an edge up. It's like straight down on the top edge of the probability band. Headline, core. Core somewhat trying to remain sticky here, probably driven by the housing and insurance problem. Yeah. How low will the curve go? Well, I mean, frankly, they could drive it to negative. It wouldn't surprise me. You'd probably be in a recession, though, if you do that. Yeah, bring back the Powell money printer. Exactly. Exactly. Macro anarchy. I'm betting on rate cuts this meeting. Wow. Even at those odds, what is that? You know, 20 to 1 or whatever. I'm not going to make that bet. Okay, somebody's spamming about Serve Robotics. You know, I don't think there's going to be a shortage of robotics companies. Everybody wants to get into robots. So, what does that mean? I'd cruise it to learn house hack and stocks from Kev. Write off. Hey, maybe you're talking about the courses. Yes, people do write those off on their taxes as an education expense. Talk to your CPA. And yeah, we do get to talk about house hack and stocks every day. It's kind of fun. Just for fun, very unlikely. Yeah. I mean, you know what? It'd be kind of funny if they did cut, and then you're right. So, all right. What else here? Let's see here.
Because the AI is good. I just get a heart. I don't get what I want, which should become on. But I'm not. That doesn't mean I'm not going to try.
Keep trying. Keep trying.
I'm a reporter, for heaven's sake. That's what you do. Buy Merck down 5, will you?
All right, coming up. Apparently, he's a reporter. It's Dash.
Did you cover homicide? Covered homicide for 2 years.
I know that
I wrote obit. I wrote so many obits. It was Jesus horrible.
A lot of obits. That's terrible.
Yeah, terrible. What a job. What a hack.
Yeah, we'll be live on AMD and Microsoft today. So that'll be fun. We shall see. All right. Everything's boring. Boring. 9 minutes to go. Let me see if there are any interesting comments. Tech sector needs to beat as earnings gap with S&P 500 narrows. The earnings gap between the technology sector and the rest of the S&P 500 is narrowing, and it's up to tech to clear the hurdles. S&P tech sector, where is it? Could see better than index earnings again in Q2, yet the gap between it and the rest is narrowing. We shall see. Consensus sees 17.3% EPS growth for tech versus 10.3% for the S&P 500. Industry growth is notably narrow, with only semis and tech hardware outpacing the S&P 500, with software a distant third. Okay. Sector is expected to post an average of 16.4% EPS growth in the first half. The sell side has been hiking tech's second quarter forecast, suggesting the group could be in for a bevy of beats this quarter. We shall see. See, I always think it's funny when they increase forecasts, they raise the bar, and then it makes it easier to miss. But that's okay. You know, people want to pre-price. That's the whole point. Okay. So PG&E, or Procter Gamble rather, not PG&E, P&G shows consumer companies can no longer rely on price hikes. Well, yeah, we already knew that. I mean, we knew that like a year and a half ago. So, consumer good companies face an increasingly tough global profit backdrop. Yep. Kimberly-Clark dropped last week as shoppers buy fewer groceries with higher prices. Oh, probably because they sell, you know, stuff at the grocery stores. That is interesting. So let me write this down. Consumer. So P&G drops 5%. Let's see here. Everyday products from diapers to pet food have relied on higher prices. Now they've slowed the price of, oh, that's why. Okay, so organic revenue would reflect their price increases. Organic revenue missed at just 2% growth versus I think they were looking for like 3.5%. As price drops or as price increases have slowed. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. More promotions to support its new Tide product. Oh, interesting. More promotions. Yeah. Kleenex dropped last week on fewer grocery store visits. Okay. And then Nestle. Yeah, Nestle. I always read it wrong. Oh, because they didn't put the little apostrophe thing. Whatever. Nestle dropped as, this is interesting. Some consumers switched to cheaper brands. There we go. Now, how do I make the little line? I just Google it and then copy and paste it to get the little apostrophe thingy. Okay. Lamb Weston. Who is that? Global restaurant traffic and frozen potato demand have softened due to menu price inflation. Who's Lamb Weston? Premier frozen potato and fries companies. Oh. And McDonald's is their biggest customer. Wow. Frozen potatoes. I wonder if Red Robin used them. And French fries. That's very interesting. Disastrous report. What? That's crazy. Global traffic and frozen potato demand have softened. Yikes. So it really is just tech holding everything up. So I want to see their report. Lamb Weston. I have not even heard of that company. Lamb Weston. You'd have to, I feel like, be in the... Oh, they got a good ticker. Oh my gosh. This is the week chart. Let's go to the month chart. Oh, jeez. Look at that. That's the month chart. That's like a 19% drop. Oh, okay. So... let's see here. Okay, so let me see when they reported. I think they said it was last week. On a Mac. Oh, I'm not on a Mac. I'm on one of those Windows machines. Adjusted Q4 came in at 78 cents versus 1.25. Guidance came in at 6.7 billion versus 6.78. Making some operational adjustments. Shares fell 16% as Q4 sales and profit misses. And actually, I mean, they must have said something nasty on the earnings call because that headline didn't sound that terrible. You know what? We'll look at their... We were going to look at Monster Beverage today. And then we were going to look at... I mean... I kind of want to... We'll do this in the course member live. We're going to do an analysis on Monster. And I'm going to add Lamb Weston today, too. Plus Lamb Weston earnings call. There we go. All right. Very well. Interesting. Okay, what else? Coca-Cola has benefited from higher prices. Ooh, so they've actually been able to do okay. Let's see. Oh, wow. That's crazy. They're at like all-time highs. Oh, well, Mike Wilson's in that one, so good for him. Coke's like the only one. Coca-Cola still benefiting and at all-time highs. That's crazy. Who would have thought? Well, Warren Buffett would have. You know what I'm going to do? Coca-Cola stock. And then compare. Let's see here. So on the 1 year, Coca-Cola still beats Tesla. On the 5 year, Tesla obviously smokes Coca-Cola. That's very interesting. That's just the last 3 years. All right, whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, gosh, they've done really well here in the last few years. I mean, this is the month chart. Let me just go to the day chart. They hit a bottom here in October of last year. Oh yeah, we had a sell down at the end of last year. Okay, so we're getting ready for El Bello now. Already. I feel like that went fast. Oh well. So, good luck today. Trading today is all going to be trading anticipation for earnings. And so far, it looks like the answer to that is up. NASDAQ wants to move up on this. NVIDIA wants to move down on this. Barely, it's kind of flat. Oh, Tesla just sold off at the open. Not sure why. I don't know. I see nervousness today. I think calls today are going to be tough, but I could be wrong. We'll see. I just wish y'all good luck. I hope you go make lots of money out there. And love y'all. Good luck.
We'll come back to PayPal a bit. Here's the opening bell. Take a look at the real-time exchange back at our headquarters. Future sort of got a little stronger. At least moving to the upside there as we got closer to the open. Here at the big board, the National Alliance on Mental Illness of New York City at the NASDAQ Carnegie Hall, celebrating the launch of Youth World Practice.
Couldn't
Practice.
resist.
It's
Could not
Youth
resist.
Orchestra Week at Carnegie Hall. I haven't been there in a long time. Gotta make that a point.
It's an exciting day because this is the beginning of the days of days. Microsoft, Meta, Apple,
Amazon.
And
yeah, it's an interesting
any previous
week.
quarter, this is like all we cared about. Here, we're thinking, okay, a la Procter.
All right. It looks like we've got... It's just the first minute. This could all still go up. We know this. The first minute is always kooky dooky crazy. But we've got about down 0.5% here on Tesla. Trying to get a green candle here. Let's see if we can come. Looks like Nvidia's trying a green candle as well. Okay, all right. So going to push for a green candle here. And, big green candle there on the Qs. So it's like 1 minute of red, 1 giant minute of green. And, okay, pushing up. Let's go. Tesla's going up. Qs. Boy, these candles look weird today. I think it's just because, like, the magnitude, like, the indecisiveness this morning is crazy. End phase. Let's put end phase up closer to the top. End phase. Let's put BTC up. Yeah, this is the 1 minute. Okay. Tesla still rotating down. Not holding up here on... Nvidia's trying to. Okay, come on, Qs. It's okay. IWM. Okay. Small caps pushing today. All right. They weren't doing so well in the pre-market. Okay. All right. On semi wants to give up a little. On running wants to push a little bit. Procter Gamble's going to push a little. PayPal. ARM Holdings down. AMD pushing up. Look at that. AMD trying to go up into earnings. Impressive. We should watch Microsoft, MSFT, and AMDizzle today. Ooh, AMD. Stop it. AMD's really trying to push here. Enphase is not. Enphase is falling. Tesla's falling. Bitcoin doesn't know what direction to go. IWM's topping out about 80 bips. Microsoft's roughly flat. AMD going for 140. Here comes the 140 test. Big line. Nobody knows this line. Nobody knows. Oh, look at it. It rejects perfectly at the line. Oh, SoFi. Look at that. SoFi rejects at the line. Can SoFi break the 792 line? Kevin drew a line. Be careful. 792 line here on SoFi. Rejected. AMD 140.94 line. Rejected. Microsoft rotating down now. Oh, IWM wants to keep going. It's a rotation so small. It's a small world after all. Enphase coming back to 113.40. Tesla
lost the lead.
Qs are actually going up. Holy smokes. As I say that, they green candle. Oh, I see a lot of red candlesticks now. Oh, wait, is SoFi gonna go back for it? I don't know. IWM keeps pushing. And Nvidia's dunking now. All right, let's see what they have to say.
And Brian said, well, hey, Brian, people have to understand these companies have great...
Everybody, Reed Rothschild says, you are so childish, in all caps. I could just see them. They got their cigar, and like their feet up, and they're like, no, I need to sit up. But they don't type fast, so they have to use their fingers. Caps. You're so childish. How dare you? How could you?
I can't do that. The long-term view is very bright for NVIDIA, but not for the stock, just for the company. They're very different animals right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, we are going to be discussing Microsoft and Amazon
but it's
and
exciting.
Meta
It's
and
exciting.
Apple as this week goes along.
Well, I mean,
given the earnings.
Listen to Zuckerberg. No one's going to pay. I mean, it was a fun thing. the talk. But Zuckerberg's basically saying, listen, man, I need your stuff. I've got so many different ideas, and there's a great return on investment.
They're the only one open sourcing, too, with Llama 3, right?
Llama 3, everyone says, hey, what's Llama 3? Llama 3 is the code, the secret. I just like both companies.
Yeah.
But do I like both stocks? I like Meta stock more than NVIDIA stock.
Okay, you like Meta more than NVIDIA. You like Amazon more than Meta.
Well, the advertising that you didn't like at YouTube could be unbelievable for Meta, especially because Reels turned out to be a better place to put a lot of things than TikTok. And that was on Zuckerberg. I remember when he unveiled Reels, and everyone said, "What an also-ran."
Yeah.
And yet, if anyone in a small business used Reels like we did at Bar San Miguel, Reels was really good. Great take rate. So anyway, you got to use the products. You have to just say, I want to use every product, like the Ray-Ban glasses that you laughed about.
I've not laughed at the Ray-Ban glasses. I laughed at the Vision Pro. Look at that. Shut them up. Can we talk CrowdStrike for a second, please?
Okay,
because
so,
yesterday you did the mad dash. Hold on.
Well, I didn't know that Delta was going to sue.
Let me just set this up.
Right.
And it wasn't on you, Jim. You were talking about the fact that many Wall Street analysts were rallying behind the name, saying, okay, the worst is probably over.
Right.
And then, of course, we report this story at CNBC. David Boies is coming after them. And, of course, the concern here is that Delta is just the first. And there will be many others. And what is the liability? And the stock is down 5.5%.
So I'm looking at one of my favorite sites called 1 Mile at a Time. And it talks about how Delta had an operational meltdown, that they were the one that totally broke down. They couldn't handle what happened. So I don't blame Delta for being angry. But I think to just go sue these other guys because you may not have had the systems. Remember, everybody else had systems to deal with it except for Delta. So do we really blame Delta? I don't know. I think that this may be a long and protracted battle that could end up being like Shakespeare, much ado about nothing.
All right. All that said, CrowdStrike is going to be dealing with a lot of lawsuits potentially.
Well, no, not.
Fair to say, or no?
I'm saying not a lot of lawsuits because not many companies. So here's in my favorite site, 1 Mile at a Time, which obviously I'd never.
No, they're definitely going to get sued.
Delta horribly. I'm not a hack. It's just that I discovered the site. Delta horribly underperforms peers with recovery. So it's about, and this is not about the lawsuit, but that Delta was the one. Now, Delta, by the way, is Ed Bastian's going to be on.
He is. He's at the Olympics.
So I hope they ask him about this 1 mile at a time. Oh, is it the Olympics?
I'm sure.
Fine. I guess he's got a lot of time on his hands. The people at the Olympics, they have a lot of time on their hands. Me, I ain't going anywhere.
No, you stay right here.
Yeah. I was up at 3:30 trying to do this darn job.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
No, I'm saying I'm not at the Olympics.
No, you're not.
No, you could be there working hard. Like, no.
You're getting ready for the likes later this week of Apple.
This is go time.
Let's talk a little about Apple because
so
yesterday the story.
Yeah.
Well, do you get it? I set it up, then you talk.
No, you're right.
Okay,
you're right.
I set it up.
No, you
then
give me a hanging curve, and I'm like, and I have my bat on my shoulder. So you give me a hanging curve.
So this is where I set it up. You ready?
Sure, partner.
All right. Yesterday we had the story from Bloomberg sort of indicating in some way there was a delay in AI. That really wasn't the right word to be using. No. But there was a question as to whether it would be released with the new iteration of the iPhone. And then later in the day we get Apple releases first preview of its long-awaited phone AI.
I know. I mean, Apple's very hard. I like to watch the stocks of Skyworks and Qorvo, because those are the suppliers. Now, they're not allowed, it's Fight Club Apple. The first rule of doing Apple is you can't talk about Apple. But if we got the charts of Skyworks Solutions,
yes,
and if we got the shot of Qorvo, not Qorvo, we're going to talk about that in a second with Diageo, and you will see that these are the charts of the orders of that Apple placed. And they're amazing because it's showing you that the business is so big. And David, who's going to give them all the AI? Which company is going to fawn over Apple because they want the billion and billion plus users?
Right.
We don't know. But one of them, we think it's going to be Alphabet.
All right. So I'm watching quickly. I just watched BTC drop a little bit, 66.5. I watched Nvidia drop a little bit. It's down about 40 basis points. Tesla down 1.3. Enphase dropped. I don't know what happened there, but you had a nice little drop-a-dude right there on Enphase. 1.38 now. I think it's that nervousness intraday. I don't know. Then you've got IWM is actually up 1%. They're doing really, really well. So good for them. Then you've got AMD is up about 60 basis points. They do have earnings today, obviously. Big deal there. And then Microsoft green as we go into the day as well. So good for them. Then we've got, what else do we have? Let's see here. No. Okay. No, that's a quick little update there. So listen back in here for a moment. I'm going to try Bloomberg as well in a sec.
If you were clueless and knew nothing. But if you've been following the liquor business, you know that it is in maybe a decline that could be the largest in history. And that's because the GOP-1s, it's because they raise price, and because there's a whole generation of younger people who do not want to hurt their body. Okay? And there's cannabis. Now, let me just give you a fact. They have Casamigos, okay, which is the high-end tequila, and they sell Don Julio. So if you go to the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board price sheet, which is the best price sheet for everything that I can find, their Blanco, Casamigos, is for 1 liter is down to $33.56. It's on special right now.
That's a good price.
What?
That's a good price.
Ah, Jim's trying to sell me. Stop. I got to change the channel. Stop it, Jim.
In RIAs.
Dude, I would have never expected to turn on CNBC and start listening to a tequila ad. Stop, Jim. Stop. No. No. How much do they have to pay to get him to pitch your coupon code, basically? Oh, gosh. No, you dummy. Come on. There we go. Let's try it over here. Let's see what we got.
Call now. You will also receive
nothing. What trash? Nobody. No, Jim's the only one on, and he's talking coupon codes. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
How much is STC down? I don't want to look.
I don't know.
Well, why don't we check?
All right. Well, we got to do SoFi now. You going to do that for us?
Oh, you want me to lead?
I guess so.
Okay.
SoFi Technologies
Constellation's
reported
down
numbers.
Again.
Yeah.
All right, let me go there.
All right.
SoFi's second quarter results were out this morning, and we're going to find out from Anthony Noto, who's the CEO, that the numbers are really great. We want to see if the stock will react to it because it's not reacted to the last 2 times that they had good numbers. Anthony Noto, welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Doing great, Jim. Thank you for having me. Hi to you and David.
Yeah, I've got David here too. All right, so Anthony, explain to me how you can have such extraordinary numbers. And why do you think that the market's not reacting to the fact that you're 40% now, like of a software product that's absolutely terrific? You have a declining number of charge-offs, which is really amazing at this point in the cycle. You've got people, a huge number of people have signed up. When will people realize that you're going to have a breakout of tremendous proportions and go ahead of it? Or do they have to see the real breakout before they realize, holy cow, why didn't I buy that stock?
Yeah, I think this quarter is definitely a milestone quarter. When people sit back and do the work, they'll realize the magnitude of the transition we made. We had record revenue, as you know, almost $600 million, up 22% year over year. That would have never happened without us driving diversification outside of lending, which only grew 5%. The financial services sector grew 80% year over year, and it's driven by both 40+% product growth and 29% growth in revenue per product, both of which will continue to propel the growth of the overall company. So we've made a transition from risky, capital-intensive lending business to higher return, less capital, less risk financial services business. That's been happening throughout the year, and without the scale that we've achieved this quarter, we'd have never gotten to another quarter of record revenue and really strong improvement in profits and some good underlying trends, as you mentioned, in lending, which is optionality on rates coming back down. I think in terms of the stock, I think it's just a question of where rates going, where the economy's going, because people feel great about the results. Now they're worried about what's going to happen next week, what's going to happen next month with rates and with credit overall. We did also point out that we saw an inflection point in our delinquencies for personal loans, which is an important milestone as well.
All right, do you think, Anthony, that there's the possibility that people still remember the heritage, which is student loans, and they say, as President Biden forgives student loans, I can't own SoFi stock?
I do think there's a legacy of us being predominantly a lender. On the earnings call, as a matter of fact, we had analysts at 99% of them were about lending. There was only one question about the financial services segment and a question of whether we could sustain the 80% growth or not. And I talked through product growth of 40% and revenue per product growth of mid-20s to 30%, which there's still a lot of upside in both of them. And their focus continues to be on the thing that we used to be as opposed to the thing that we've become. And we're trying to emphasize the magnitude of the innovation we're driving. We've rolled out alternative assets, which helped us drive 58% growth in AUM and brokerage. In addition to that, we're providing auto, home, and life insurance. Our credit card business is starting to make a turn. And so we're seeing really strong trends outside of the traditional lending business. And it's going to take a while for people to accept that that's the driver of growth going through the rest of the year.
Well, I think that's really important. I mean, you do allude to the fact that you are becoming the AWS of financial services. And Anthony, I've known you for a very, very long time. And I thought to myself, when are people going to recognize that this is actually an enterprise software company that caters to individuals, not individual borrowers, but individuals? And why is that so hard? Why can't people see that it's enterprise software?
You know, I think it's just a matter of people hearing the metrics over and over for the first time. So today was the first time we talked about our interchange revenue, which is growing very nicely. We also, for the first time, started to break out the growth in AUM, as well as our non-interest income and financial services, which ties to those two numbers. And they're much more transactionally driven without a lot of risk, and they don't require capital.
Anthony, finally, just on the macro, obviously we don't expect we're going to get a rate cut tomorrow, but we do, or many expect that we're going to get a rate cut come September. What's that going to mean overall for your business?
A declining rate environment is positive for our business. It will definitely be a tailwind. It'll increase the amount of home loan refinancing, which we're now in and doing quite well. We saw a very strong trend in home loans, up 71% year over year. We're now also doing home equity loans, which is a good diversification because it's a secured product. So both of those businesses would benefit from lower rates. Student loan refinancing, to Jim's point, there would be a lot more demand for student loan financing because the rate they currently have relative to a lower rate, benchmark rates, would give them more of a savings. And so it would be a tailwind there. I also believe we'd see a tailwind to our invest business, which is also seeing great growth in AUM. But as people have less yield in money markets and fixed income, they're going to have to go back into equities as a higher percentage of their portfolio. So that business would also benefit. And then last, the value of the loans in our balance sheet in declining rate environments generally increase the value, all else equal, in the loans.
Right.
Well, look, Anthony, people call in all the time on Mad Money, and all I can do is talk in praise. You're doing exactly what you can do. It must be frustrating to be you, but I want to thank you for coming on Squawk on the Street and always telling it straight.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you, David. Really appreciate it. At SoFi, I said in the earnings call, we like hard. Hard is durable, hard is hard to replicate, and we have a great moat around our business, so we'll keep executing, and we know we'll reflect it over time. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anthony Noto from SoFi. Before we head to a break, let's give you a quick look at the bond market. Of course, talking a bit about rates just now. Treasuries this morning, we'll keep an eye on that 10-year, of course, as we head into the Fed meeting on the 2-year as well. You can see we're right around the same level that we been yesterday. 4.16 is the number on the 10-year, 2-year 4.379. We're back right after this.
All right. So what's happening here? We've got, Tesla's down about 1.5%. I've got NVIDIA here at 2.3 to the downside. Enphase is only down about 18 bips right now. So pretty decent there on Enphase. It had a nice recovery. It was down like 1.5. AMD's playing my line. It's a little messy right now. It's barcoding around it. SoFi gave up the line. And Bitcoin, it's trying to drag down a little bit. Not much over here. It's really, it seems like IWM, it really pushing today. So you gotta give the devil its due, as I like to say. No, it's fine. It's a good thing. Overall, you don't want the market to collapse. It's just, if there's going to be a week that would be the catalyst for it, it'd be this one. And we'll see. We'll have the earnings. I'll be there. I'll cover them live, and whatever it is, it is. So we shall see. Anyway, okay. So we'll watch this. Then we've got what else do we have here? We've got. NVIDIA's trying to recover a little bit. Tesla's staying mid-range here. Let's see here. NVIDIA, can it get above that? No, it doesn't seem like it wants to. Qs kind of keep trending down. Let's see here. Procter Gamble went down some more. ARM's going down more. CrowdStrike going down more. People are suing the company. Not a terrible surprise. Okay. Yeah, here goes Tesla again a little bit, and Nvidia. Yeah. So a little bit of nervousness, it seems like. All right, let's see here. Oh yeah, there's some big red candlesticks over here. Enphase gives up 113.40. Microsoft gives up the line. AMD gives up the line hardcore. SoFi gives up the line. And yeah, lots of little red candles coming over here right now. So let's see here. This is interesting. Did we get... No, we don't have JOLTS yet. JOLTS come out in 9 minutes. So we'll get that economic data in a moment. Let's see here. Economic data on JOLTS comes out, yeah, in 9 minutes. 9 minutes! Anyway. Alright. So, ooh, green candle, it's all coming back? It's all coming back? The 1 minute candlesticks are a riot. You know, what some people like to do is they'll actually go to the 2 minute because it's so wild. So you look at the 2 minute candle, and a lot of people see this as an easier way to trade, less mentally damaging. Sometimes a little easier maybe to spot a trend. I usually like just counting the 5 minute. But, you know, what I don't think is bad is you could put a little star on it. And that way you have it right here. So it's like really easy to toggle to it. All right. There you go. Tesla trying to recover. And yeah. All right. So, oh, Microsoft's not. Okay, waiting now for JOLTS. 8 minutes away. Let's see how yields did this morning. Yields. No, it's pretty much the same. Oil's down at 78 for international. 4.15 on the 10-year. 2's not moving much. Let's see the exact on the 2. Ooh, Microsoft, gross. Yeah, no, not much of a move here. Boring. Okay. It's probably just everybody's waiting for JOLTS now. Okay. Rate-pressured solar stocks now face political risk. You don't say. I know, it sucked. It's like you go from, oh, we're finally going to get rate cuts. Yeah, but now you might get Donnie T, who's going to take away all your subsidies. Oh. Yeah. So, all right. We've got, what do we got? 7 minutes to go until the JOLTS report. Tesla's climbing. Nvidia's not. The Qs are not. Getting a little stuck. And what else do we have here? Let's see. Procter Gamble still at 6. CrowdStrike's almost at 7% down now. Lawsuit talk. Nobody liking the lawsuit. Nobody. Your mom don't like the lawsuit. I don't like the lawsuit. You don't like a lawsuit. Oh, look at Nvidia. Nvidia. It's just the gift that keeps on going down. 108. Watch that line. Let's see if we can end up touching 108. If we get a bounce there, if we end up pulling through that. Pretty heavyweight stock here. So, okay. 6 minutes to go.
So SoFi is actually one of the underwriters on the deal, just showing just how much retail interest they're trying to get into this IPO. What does this mean for Bill Ackman at large? This is part of a grander plan, isn't it, for him to take...
No, I don't think that JOLTS is a catalyst. You're right. I'm just saying, like, it's the only thing we have. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I don't think the JOLTS report really will matter. I think it'll be pretty benign. But there's literally nothing else to look at right now. It's, like, boring. You're waiting for AMD and Microsoft. That's what everyone's waiting for. And that's after the bell. We'll cover that, obviously. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what somebody meant. I saw somebody say that I forgot to put my little coupon banner down below. Oh, I went an hour and a half without the banner. That's all right. Y'all already know there's a coupon expiring tomorrow. The price is just going to go up, and we guarantee that to members. So anyway.
Of something that ended up not doing so well as a publicly traded company.
That's very true as well. That I don't know. You think about Elon Musk, he certainly doesn't seem like he likes being the CEO of a public company. And there's plenty of companies, as we've been discussing, that have just been choosing to stay private for longer. So we'll see ultimately if
that's not the point of this, right?
But we'll see ultimately if this hedge fund goes public.
Stay tuned. Supposed to price Monday night.
All right, Kathy, thanks so much for joining us. Bloomberg's Catherine Burton reports on hedge funds for us and this closed-end fund. Let's get to the trading diary, what you need to be watching this week. We get central bank decisions from the Fed, the Bank of Japan, and the Bank of England. Then more big tech earnings roll in with Microsoft and AMD after the bell today, and other notable earnings this week include Boeing, which we talked about, as well as KKR. Coming up in the next hour, SoFi CEO Anthony Noto will join us at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. We'll talk to him as well about, I guess we can ask him about Bill Ackman's fund.
We sure can. Why not?
They're underwriting it.
He was just on CNBC. He's just going to say the same stuff. They just have to do the circuit. Oh, yeah, going on CNBC. Oh, now I'm going on Bloomberg. What a joke.
So 3M then goes up a lot. You have to recognize the zeitgeist of the moment more importantly than the actual company.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been saying all morning. It's my consistent theme. It sounds inconsistent because what it says is, wait a second, buy Procter down 10. But that's just because it's an outlier and you want to do that.
I get it. I get it.
I enjoyed this morning. We're trying to put it in context.
I'm glad you did, Jim. I always enjoy our time together.
I do too.
Yeah. What are you going to do on your show other than miss me?
Okay, so this is an example of the zeitgeist. I have Huntington Bank one. Now, that is a Huntington Bank shares. That's a bank in Ohio. And Steve Steinauer told me during the great mini crisis, listen, we're fine, which he was. And he'll tell me the straight dope about small cap to medium sized banks that have been so fabulous.
Yeah.
They've been fabulous.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right here.
Absolutely.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Thank you.
We got breaking economic data right after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, breaking economic data. It's going to be huge. It's going to be so important. Nobody go anywhere. It's the JOLTS report. Nobody's going to care. I mean, unless it's like some crazy miss or whatever, you know. Yeah. Nvidia keeps dropping like a rock. So Tesla's now down 1.67. A little more than it was earlier. You've got Bitcoin down to the 66.3 range. Got the Qs are almost red. Like you're really kind of giving up on the numbers here. That's why I think I'm pretty sure I said a few minutes before the bell, I don't think today is a calls day. I didn't say it was a puts day. I have puts, but that's a hedge. I did say it was not a calls day because there's just way too much anxiety going into these earnings today, I think. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is just the pain of the day and it'll bounce from here and you'll make a lot of money buying calls off this bounce. Excuse me. But it's not a bet I'm going to make. Remember, I always send you all my buy-sell alerts when I see a trend and it's something that I'm doing. No guarantees, obviously, but that's sort of just my basis. Right now, my Nvidia put's doing good, but now I look at it and I'm like, oh, I wish I had more. But that's always that's the downside of trading, because like if you have a bad trade, you're like, oh, I wish I cut it out earlier. And then if you have a really good trade, you're like, damn, I should have had more of it. So like you can never win. Even when you're right, you're wrong because you didn't go heavy enough. It's like the most toxic psychology ever. Anyway. So, okay. JOLTS comes out momentarily here. I guess, maybe we should have, like, something. What do I have? I have 20 seconds? Okay, we got this. Do we? Apparently not. Why is it not playing? Play. All right, here we go. Expectation is 8 million flat, baby. 8.184. That's not bullish for rate cuts. That is overall bullish, though, for the economy. That is more job openings than expected. NVIDIA perfectly bounces at my line. Perfect bounce. 108.08. But that probably takes this idea of a rate cut in July off the table. And honestly, that kind of read could be indicative of a Fed that says, you know what, we're not going to signal a cut yet. I don't know, man. That's hot. So we'll see. We shall see. But whatever. So NVIDIA now breaking this. If it confirms this, it's going to go down even more. No guarantees. It could bounce nicely here, and then just come right back up to its line. But that's a big one. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not bullish on that. Okay. So, yeah, whole market is, like, not loving that JOLTS report. Qs are now down. NVIDIA's down. Tesla's down more now. Bitcoin dropped on that. Well, it basically says, look at that. Even IWM drops. I mean, you can listen to them here. Consumer confidence beat. It's going to be less cuts.
Near expectations, 8,184,000. Actually, that's better than expectations. And you see interest rates moving up a bit. Not only was this a bit better, that's a June read. Last month was revised from 8,140,000 all the way up to 8,230,000, which means last month is the best month since March when it was 8,355,000. And of course, this fits right in a little bit lower. And it turns out that now this is the lowest level since April. Before the revision. And if we look at consumer confidence, these are July reads. 100.3 on headline, better than anticipated, although we had a big downward revision in the rearview mirror. 100.4 for June now becomes 97.8. That makes 100.3 the best level since May when it was 101.3. If we look at the present situation, 133.6, sequentially following a down revised 141.5, that becomes 135.3, now 133.6. That is the lightest level going back to April of 21. Now, if we look at what may lie ahead, expectations, 78.2. Sequentially, another downward revision to June. 73 becomes 72.8. 78.2 now becomes the best read going back to January when it was 81.5. The second best read, of course, on expectations. Yields, well, we've moved up to 418, and that would basically represent very near unchanged on a 10-year. If you look at a 2-year, hovering just below 440, that would be also very close to unchanged. And we want to pay very, very close attention to the beginning of a 2-day Fed meeting. Nobody expects a rate cut, but everybody's going to be perusing the statement and Q&A to make sure that SEP is still on tap. Leslie Picker and David Faber, back to you.
Rick, thank you. Yes, there will be a lot of parsing of words over the next few days or so. As you mentioned, the Fed kicking off that big 2-day meeting today as calls for policymakers to cut.
He said pay attention to the SEP. We're not getting a summary of economic projections. We got one in June. We don't get a summary of economic projections this time. So he made a little oopsie-doopsie there. I'm not trying to, like, bag on it. I'm just saying, like, there's no summary of economic projections here.
Lori, so tell us about this tired Goldilocks story and how that factors into what the Fed does or doesn't do.
Sure. So, look, I think as we go through the earnings calls, right, my team and I, we divide up the sectors we read. We try to sort of piece together the story, and that's a little bit challenging early on, right, where all the data is still coming out. But I think what we're seeing on the macro demand outlook consumer has been sort of an ongoing combination of resilience we're managing through. But, hey, sure, we are acknowledging some pressures from interest rates, from inflation. So that's where kind of tired Goldilocks came out, and that Goldilocks is doing a whole lot of work right now, but we still seem to be.
Oh, y'all think he meant September cut? Yeah.
Talking with Lori
Maybe.
about kind of what you've garnered from these conversations on the earnings transcripts. What does that say to you? Does it say it's time to cut rates because, you know, things are okay, they're holding up okay, but things could deteriorate from here? Or do they look kind of better than maybe the market is giving credit for, and therefore maybe it's best to hold on?
So look, when I talked to our rate strategy team and they set our Fed call, they're looking for September as the first cut, and then they're looking at every other meeting. And so they see the next one in December. And, you know, when you sort of take their views versus a lot of the other rate strategists on the street, they're looking for a shorter and shallower cycle. And a lot of that is, I think, because they do have this underlying idea that the economy is fairly resilient. And they might have, you know, sort of a greater faith in that resilience than maybe some of the other.
Yeah, you might have a little pop up here, too, on just the consumer confidence numbers. Those were good. But I think this is a signal to the Fed for a reduction in cuts. But who knows? Maybe that's a way of saying that earnings will actually be good today, which that is the bigger catalyst than the Fed, right?
Assume that Donald Trump wins.
NASDAQ just went red.
Does that change at all your portfolio construction compared to, you know, Kamala Harris with a continuation of Biden policies?
We historically have never advised people to reinvest portfolios or adjust portfolios based on what you think an outcome might be. And actually, if you had done that and you look back over the last two presidencies, the common presumption was, for example, that oil stocks would do very well under a Trump presidency and not so well under a Biden presidency, and we saw just the opposite. So building portfolios around politics is not something we advise. We are talking to people about longer-term issues and building durable portfolios that can withstand the volatility. We're focused more on, especially recently, more on we've had a position, a slightly overweight position in small caps, expecting to see that larger rotation go on. And we really do think that markets over the intermediate and longer term.
Oh, Q's just bounced green.
Fundamentals. And that's the glory about what we're seeing this week, next week, is that we're in the middle of earnings season. The fundamentals are front and center, that and Fed policy. So people really can focus on that and not necessarily.
Ooh, market's bouncing after the catalyst is out. You've got, look at that, SoFi's bounce. Wow, look at SoFi's bounce. Did it just go line to line? It literally went meet Kevin line to meet Kevin line. 794 to 720. You can't make this stuff up. That's crazy. Okay. AMD lost its line, but it's trying to come back. Microsoft's trying to come back to its line. Oh, Bitcoin's coming back up, so good for it. And then you've got Enphase trying to get back to the 113. Tesla trying to come back. It's been bobbing around this 230 area here for a minute. A little bit of a bounce on Nvidia. You can see when we lost the 108.08, you had a little bit more of a shot down, or a shot down. Although that did come with the data. That was sort of the data, which is kind of a benign release. Will it actually hold this today? That line, I don't know, but that'll be critical. Tesla, 230 will probably be its next test. You know, we made a joke yesterday that what we should do is we should draw lines. We made this joke in the course live. We should draw lines based on their World of Warcraft rarity. So, you know, if our confidence is kind of low on them, we should start with a gray line. And then we should go from gray to maybe like a white line, to a green line, a blue line, you know, purple, orange. They'll kind of go up in that rarity. So we might do that. But yeah, we'll call this one we'll make it a gray. That looks too, I think that's okay for gray. That's too close to white. So I'll go with that for gray. Yeah, there we go. Nice little uncertain line there, right there. We'll test to see if that works. Oh, Nvidia wants to move up. It's getting away from that 108.08, and so is Tesla. Enphase though is giving up. Bitcoin's giving up. IWM's giving up. So, and the Q's having a hard time. Only up 10 basis points. Everyone's just waiting for earnings though. On semiconductors down 3. They were up a lot yesterday though, so they're okay. What else here? Chipotle, Robin the Hood, Open Door. None of this is really entertaining. This is all pretty basic. Affirm. Look at Affirm. So why is Affirm up this much? Let's find out if we could see something on Affirm. Affirm. I will affirm you. Affirm is up on Bank of America, raises to buy on profitability optimism. So it's not being raised on profitability. It's being raised on profitability optimism. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's comedy. I don't know. I think Bitcoin's a little bit of an omen right now. You know, it's telling you calls are tough today. And I have not touched any calls today, well, other than like on, you know, on an inverse, but I don't really consider that like when I say call, like, because I have a call on the S triple Qs, right? But I mean, like, that's a short. Let's be real. be bullish options right now on stonks going up. I don't think is the play intraday, unless you think earnings are going to kill it. If you think earnings are going to kill it, you could probably get a cheap buy on bullish options. But, yeah, no, I kind of keep adding to bearish options. So, we'll see how they go. And I've slowly been building those. Like, I had a tiny, tiny position over the weekend, and I built it up over the last couple days here, much more. Just as a hedge for this week. I'm just nervous about these earnings in the Fed. So we'll see. Q's now sticking to red. NVIDIA really wants to play that 108.08 line. Break that, lose that 108.8, and then actually confirm or reject there. Probably goes to 100, honestly. So write that down somewhere, okay? Kevin thinks if NVIDIA loses 108.08 and then goes for a test on it and rejects, it goes down to 100. Shurish says, how heavy can you bench, though? At least a 25 on each side. Let's see here. Kevin was right about BTC falling after conference. Yeah, that's pretty common, though. That happens usually, you know, buy the rumor, sell the news. So, let's see here. Okay. IWM. Oh, well, yeah, thank you for the compliment. So I said 25 on each side, and Bob Ham says, you're so full of yourself. I'm sorry, man. It's the ego, dude. I can't help it, you know? It's, I mean, nobody lifts the plates better than I do. So, short-term bottom on Bitcoin. Let me get there for you. Oh, there it is. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's not going to zero anytime soon. I'm not so optimistic about the very, very, very long term on Bitcoin. But what you're getting right now is, like, as soon as they swap Biden for Kamala, you are going to have an unpricing of Trump in Bitcoin. And so it really hurt that momentum because you were on the path to going to 80 to 100K. You were on that path for Bitcoin, 80 to 100K. And as soon as Kamala came in, you know, that was a red flag in my opinion. Obviously, then you had enthusiasm going into the Bitcoin conference, but I think short term, I don't think you'll have major moves in either direction unless the stock market moves. Like, if the stock market tanks 52,000, if earnings are benign here, you know, we're somewhere in this range, 61 to 71,000. I don't see any big catalyst to really skyrocket here. I don't see any big catalyst to crash here. Nothing in the short term. So we'll see. It's all going to come down to earnings this week. And obviously the Fed. IWM almost gave up its entire gain this morning. Yeah. Yeah, Max, why don't you give me your educated opinion? Let's see what your educated opinion is. Go ahead, throw it at me. Now, to be clear, this is not Max from Canada. This is Max MXLTN, who has a movie character icon because he's too afraid to show himself. So, anyway. So, Tesla's recovering here. Nice recovery right here. So, this is pretty good. The Qs went green again. Yeah. All gonna come down to, those earnings today. Someone's talking about Tilray. How's Tilray doing? Tilray Brands. Tilray up 15% of dudes. Jeez, Lord. I have to go out on the month chart to see what's going on. Oh, my Lord. How was it? What? It was $300 for a minute. Holy crap. How big is this company? $1.7 billion company still. Wow. That's wild. NVIDIA's consolidating right here at this line. Wow. Very interesting. Thoughts on Microsoft? Honestly, if somebody told me that, okay, now Max wants to talk about his thumbnail, his little peepee, rather than actually talk about what I asked him to talk about, which was tell me where I'm wrong on Bitcoin or give me like an educated thesis. But as usual, people can't do that. So just say you need to learn more about Bitcoin. Okay, what am I saying that's wrong? I don't want to talk about it anymore. I just want to be done. I'm gonna take my ball. Yeah, take my ball and leave. Anyway, getting a little bit of a rally here. And what else here? Oh yeah, I was talking about Microsoft. So like if somebody's like, Kevin, you must pick what Microsoft will do. Honestly, I think they're more likely to beat. Microsoft they're a high margin business. You just can't bet against this company. It's just, they just print money. They are literally Jerome Powell. So, I mean, I'm not going to play it because I just don't. I suck at playing earnings. Volatility's pretty high, so options are a little expensive right now. Oh, here we go. I asked for the third time. I asked Max to give me an opinion as to why I'm wrong on Bitcoin. And then he says, well, Kevin is fast to make an opinion on everything. You try to start, you try to have an opinion on everything. You still haven't given me one thesis. 3 times I have asked you now. Bro, you're not worth paying attention, bro. I've given you so many chances. This is just embarrassing. You're just embarrassing yourself, man. Let's get out of here. Just get out of here. All right, 66.3 on BTC now. I want to look at Microsoft, zoom out a little bit on Microsoft. Oh, it did get, look at that. It bounced off my line again. It bounced off the line. Okay, let's see here. So, Microsoft long-term is off of its long-term high of 468.35. Right now, the implied volatility on Microsoft is expected movement after earnings is 4.5%. 427 times 1.045 would put us at 446. So, pretty good. And totally reasonable here on Microsoft. And this lid right here is very interesting to me. I mean, it just shows you the nervousness of the day is really what it is. But earnings today will probably push you. Yeah, no, it's not going to move to another line. I mean, you would have to have such a miserable miss on Microsoft to get down to 346. I don't know. I don't see it happening. Let me look at their estimates. What are their expectations for growth on the quarter? And let's go with, let's see here. Expectations on the quarter. Let's just take a second here. Okay. Quarters. Enter. Okay, Q4. We're looking for 14.8% growth quarter over quarter, which is less than the 17% growth we had in the last. I could probably pull it off. I don't know. But, I don't know. So, somebody says Michael Saylor is a grifter. Somebody don't like Bitcoin and Michael Saylor in the chat. How the F is Microsoft growing at 15% per quarter? Oh, you're right. Sorry, that's the year-over-year growth rate. Thank you for correcting me. I changed it to quarters. Oh, I'm in the wrong. Thank you for correcting me. You're right. I was wrong. I changed it to quarters, but it didn't update. My bad. Oh, you dummy. How did I screw that up? Yeah, it literally is right there. Yeah. So, hold on. Okay, this, I don't know if they changed it, but they don't actually give you the quarter over quarter growth. So now what I could do to get quarter over quarter, that's lame. So I changed it to quarters and it doesn't give me quarters. Jerk. All right, 64,522 divided by 61,858, 4.3% quarter over quarter growth. That's what's expected right now, which that expectation times 4 is 17.2% annual growth, but their current annual growth is expected to be 14.8%. So the quarter over quarter growth is expected to show an acceleration of the year over year trend. There, I finally figured out how to speak correctly today. Have I downloaded the new FSD yet? No, I do have a software update, but honestly, I drive so little. I don't. I'm not on top of the updates like I should be. Oh, okay, okay. Max now wants to go degenerate and go, now I'm a scammer. Okay, now I'm a scam. Oh, get out of here, Max. Gosh, what a pansy bitch. I can't make an argument, so I'm just gonna insult. Bye. Kevin, thanks for everything as usual. You're amazing. Number one YouTube. Well, thank you for that. I wanna ask what you think about earnings today. Well, so we were just talking about Microsoft. I don't know if you just chimed in, but you could go back and listen to my thoughts on Microsoft. Like I said, if somebody put a gun to my head, I think Microsoft would beat. However, I am hedging. I am hedging into this week. So I just want to be very, I try my best to be as transparent as possible. So it's literally why we made an ETF. We made an ETF to just prove to people that there's more going on here than just some YouTuber. It's look, you could literally see the actual trades that the ETF does. It's regulated, 100% transparent. You know, it's very important. And you just look at its performance or whatever. And this is not an advertisement for it. It's just to say, my goal is to be very crystal clear. And that doesn't mean I don't make micro adjustments. If we get really good earnings today and tomorrow and Thursday and a really bullish Powell, I will close my shorts and I will take an L. And then I'm going to drop my hedges. Right? I mean, that sounds logical, right? So I'm just going to draw it out. So that way it's so crystal clear. And by draw it out, I mean I'm just going to write it out. All right. Somebody says, Kevin, you've made me so much money over the past few years, which is why I bought your courses and supported you. Oh, thank you. Spider says, you are a scammer. You pump dog shit stocks. I'm sorry you hate Tesla. I mean, I don't think Tesla's dog shit. All right. So let's write this down. Okay, so we're gonna go with if earnings good this week, dump SQQ, dump BidX. BidX is the short one, right? That's a macro hedge, mind you. No, it's it's BITI. It's a macro hedge. Macro tech earnings hedge. And then deploy cash, right? Earnings good this week. Honestly, Powell is not my caddy. Powell just adds flames to the fire, or fuel to the fire. Powell just adds fuel to the bullish or bearish fire this week. Powell does not define my market strategy this week. Earnings do. Like I'm just gonna write it out. So it's like all my videos are on the channel. All these live streams are here. They're all sorted into playlists. You can go back and watch it all. Almost everything, like 99%. So anyway, if earnings are good this week, dump SQQs, dump BITI, and deploy cash, which I think going into this week is reasonable to be around 25% cash. Valuation's high. CTA selling pressure may come with bad earnings. And technically seem overbought, ready, hashtag Gall, head and shoulders. Where is he today? He forgot to donate $2 to us today. So like people are gonna say to this like, oh, you're a flip-flopper. No, I've been pretty clear. So since November of 2022, it's been Nike swoosh, right? Volatile Nike swoosh, Nike swoosh. Nothing's changed. And since, quite frankly, like I started in this business, since 2010, buy wedge deals in real estate. Everyone should. Broad advice, not personal advice. I think that's pretty straightforward. Now, anybody who doesn't make micro adjustments around that is just loony. But that's okay. So I think that's pretty. That sets the record straight. JetBlue's now up 20%. Did you get those short shorts? Dude, I'm wearing them right now. Literally wearing those short shorts we bought on the live stream right now. JetBlue. JetBlue had good earnings. Oh, wow. They ran like crazy, huh? Good for them. LSAT, I don't take the LSAT until like November. Oh, there goes NVIDIA. Kevin wears short shorts because he's shorting the market. I mean, I am shorting the market a little bit, but it's just a hedge. NVIDIA breaking down again. Paid for the course in one trade. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome, happy family. Yeah, the SEC says I'm not allowed to advertise the ETF until I have a broker dealer approve it. So I'm like, okay. So I don't mention the fund. So I'm going to become my own broker dealer to solve that. Hopefully we'll be a broker dealer soon. Anyway. Haven't you taken any practice tests? No. I've been reading, and I'm not far into it. The Bible, I think it's called. What is this crap called? LSAT Logical Reasoning Bible. Bro. It's a read. Oh, yeah. Those are funny. Are you saying back to bull after election, though? Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Oh, let's be, like, crystal clear about this. Like, biggest risk is between now and election for correction. Election correction. It rhymes. That's funny. I think it's funny. You might not. Whatever. Post-election, no recession equals moon, 10 out of 10 bull, margin, baby. That's when your Uber bull comes back. Southwest had they're under an FAA investigation for close calls on crashing their freaking planes. Do you think Wheels Up can compete with JetBlue? Those are very different companies. Wheels Up is like a NetJets, private jet service. JetBlue is a public, commuter airline. Those are very different. Give us an update on AMD. Right. So AM Dizzle. Oh, Pivotal Investments just dropped $4.99. Bam! Just bought me some coffee. Thank you, sir. Or ma'am. I don't know what you are. I have a 90% chance of being right by calling you a sir. That probably goes up to like 90.1 if I include the potential people who have transitioned from woman to man. Anyway, we don't need to go there. So let's talk about AMD. Can I just say one thing? Keep biological men out of women's sports. That's okay. I got 4 daughters, and I want them to have hope. All right? That's all I want to say. Sorry. Not to be political, but that was political. So, AMD. All right. Well, from a technical point of view, you know what? I realized why I have my volume lower. It's because when I get to screaming, what's it called? It peaks. So, Kevin, I appreciate your convo with Graham the other day. Regardless of what anyone says, you provide so much free alpha and inspiration to better one's life. Oh, well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. So, man, the chips. Jose Villa. F the haters. Kevin's ideas have helped me make a bag. I got the receipts. Let's go. What's that little flag at the end? What's OBJ? What is that? I kind of want to know. OBJ emoji. Object replacement character? Oh, I believe it's a placeholder for a graphic or emoji that your computer does not support. That's unfortunate. Oh, somebody says it's a money bag. Oh, okay. Well, I see the money bag, but then after it has OBJ. Anyway, whatever. So, all right, here's the problem. I love the chips. They are very, very high margin businesses. And AI was a great leap forward. But it is way overblown. Now, AMD, I think, has a fair shot of playing catch up to NVIDIA, but I'm not sure if it's going to be like this. Like, how should I say it? So, like, NVIDIA's way up here, right? And then let's say AMD's here. If NVIDIA bleeds and AMD catches up, it could be like this. You see what I mean? Like they catch up, but they're both falling. So I've personally reduced my exposure to NVIDIA to under 2%. I think it's a little overblown. Don't get me wrong. Their margins are delicious and sexy, It's some of the most delicious cash you could be printing, but the valuation bestowed by the market is a little broken. It's just my opinion. And in fairness, I am also short Nvidia right now. So if AMD kills it today, my Nvidia short will not. But then again, I am, like I said, I have a long exposure and then I have a short hedge. I have a September put on Nvidia, and then I have a couple other short positions. One on the Qs, Tesla, hedging, because I still have like 4 or 5% exposure to Tesla. So I do have some hedges. Anyway, okay. So somebody says Nvidia going to, oh my God. Oh, I was wondering why all of a sudden my put was doing so well. Yeah, I just bought some more too, and I sent everybody in the Stocks and Psych group another alert. Just added 200 more contracts short Nvidia. Your opinion on AMD, please. Right, I keep getting distracted. Well, that was one part of my opinion. The second part of my opinion is it is expecting... Let me see what the anticipation is today. I also just want to be clear, I don't really want the market to crash and burn because it would make it very hard to fundraise. Like, in my opinion, if House Hack was like, I'm not saying this is happening or a guarantee or anything. Nothing's a guarantee. I'm just saying if House Hack would want to either fundraise or go public or both or none of them, let's just say it is a lot easier to do that in a euphoric market. That's all I have to say. Nvidia's implied volatility for the day is AMD's implied volatility for the day is 7.7%. And they are expected to beat, obviously, they beat 7 out of 8 times on EPS. They missed 6 out of 8 times on GAAP. It's all that stock comp. Revenue beats 7 out of 8 times. Net income beats 6 out of 8 times. So it's just a question of how much the markets think they're going to beat. I downloaded Robinhood. How do I make millions? By starting with billions. I like when you did first House Hack fundraise literally at the bottom. I know. It was unfortunate. Yes. Yes, every time I have fundraised for House Hack, it has been in a crap market. So, end of 2022, there was a little sell-off in March of 23, and then we ended the another fundraise, October 31st in 2023, which was like the end of a 3-month sell-off. But a lot of that is not because of us, you know. It's not like we could flick our fingers and go, oh, yeah, we want to fundraise here. It's you're waiting for attorneys, you're waiting for the SEC, and I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying, like, it's just the exact timing of a fundraise is not in your control. It's not as quick as like opening up Robinhood and going swipe up. Richie Luxury says, join the course membership. Thank you, sir. I didn't pay you. Fitness Tech says, I'm buying Nvidia now. You better close your short. Now I'm going to buy more short? Billionaire to millionaire symposium. We'll all dress up as clowns. Yes. That'd be funny. Clown conference. Who would come to a clown conference with me? You don't even have to meme it. We just all have to come with red hair and noses, and we'll talk about real estate. Oh, I'm bullish on AI as a tool and a technology, but I do think that it's mania now, and most of it makes no sense. Yeah. All right. What else? I think we got to get to the course member live stream now.
What else? Outlook on TSM over the next 6 months?
Well, I mean, that's the same opinion as the chip sector, right? It's all predicated on how the chips perform right now. All of it. All of it is. Should I purchase FSD or do the subscription model? I mean, what's the break even now? It's $99 a month? I would do the subscription model. Because it's, what does it cost now? $7,500 or $10K? What does it cost? Tesla.com. Order now. Full self-driving, $8,000. Oh, they really dropped the price. Divided by 99. 80 months? Bro, that's a 6.7-year break even? Oh, I do the subscription model. Subscription price not guaranteed to stay the same. Oh, come on. They're not going to raise the price on that. Doesn't have enough PP. I don't know. I wouldn't buy it. That's my take. Anyway, I'm going to push the button now.
Even though I'm a licensed financial advisor, real estate broker, and becoming a stockbroker, this video is neither personalized financial advice nor real estate advice for you. It is not tax, legal, or otherwise personalized advice tailored to you. This video provides generalized perspective, information, and commentary. Any third-party content I show should not be deemed endorsed by me. This video is not and shall never be deemed reasonably sufficient information for the purpose of evaluating a security or investment decision. Any links or promoted products are either paid affiliations or products or services which we may benefit from. I personally operate and actively manage the ETF and hold long positions in various securities, potentially including those mentioned in this video. However, I have no relationship to any issuers other than HouseHack, nor am I presently acting as a market maker.
Here you have it. See you in the next one. I'm going to make a cup of coffee. We'll go, of course, member live. Bye.